It's a solemn day at the residence of MKO Abiola in Lagos. Eminent Nigerians and pro-democracy activists converged on his Ikeja residence and are expected to lay a wreath at his tomb, make speeches in commemoration of June the 12th, 30 years after. Security operatives are also on the ground to forestall breakdown of law and order. TVC News correspondent Emmanuel Ajayi spoke to some persons who have come to pay tributes to the heroes of the June the 12th struggle.
I would describe him as a mover, a great leader, a revolutionist, and indeed a unifier. Every part of Nigeria voted for MKO Abiola, believed in MKO Abiola, and indeed it was no surprise that despite the Muslim ticket, every single person from the chief imam in the north to the cardinal or the bishop in the south and the southwest or the northwest, every single person voted, believed, and stood behind MKO Abiola.
Abiola is a man of history, very selfless in all ramification. He was a business mogul, and you should not forget that he practically grew his business by himself with the grace of God. He almost practically schooled himself, and this goes to show that he's a man of destiny, and he was able to galvanize all interests, from the old politician, the old blocks, to the contemporary bloc when he contested, beyond tendencies.
All right, let's now get more updates from TVC News correspondent Emmanuel Ajayi, who is still at the residence of MKO Abiola. Emmanuel, quickly bring us up to speed with the event that is supposed to happen today at the residence. I can see right behind you the presence of activists and a majority of persons there. What are they saying with regards to the person of MKO Abiola, and perhaps what parallels are they drawing with regards to the current president, who was part of the struggle at the time?
Well, it's still an interesting day here right at Ikeja Residence of late Moshood Kashimawo Olawale Abiola, celebrating June 12, 30 years after. Well, the message here is about the message of a man who has been described as a man of integrity, a man of honor, and more accolades are indeed pouring in at this time. Let me quickly give you the roll call of dignitaries here present at this Ikeja residence of late Moshood Kashimawo Olawale Abiola, where we still have about 3 of his children here present at this event. I have here Ayo Abiola, Mrs. Lola Abiola, Olamilekon Abiola. We also have a pro-democracy activist here on ground. We have Barrister Mike Ozakome, SAN. We have a comrade Ayodele Adewale. We also have Professor Kila here, Anthony Kila here present at this time. So the message, it has been a message of unity in the country, drawing the line that we have one who has been at the front end of pursuing democracy in the country, talking about the current president of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is in the saddle of affairs at this time. Well, Nigerians indeed here present are expecting more benefits to the family of late Moshood Kashimawo Olawale Abiola. I have one of the pro-democracy activists with me, Professor Anthony Kila. Many thanks for having you at this time. What do you have to say concerning a man that has been described as a hero of our democracy?
Well, I think MKO is an epitome of June 12. You know, he's an embodiment both physically and in terms of idea of what the day represents. A lot of people lost their life around June 12. A lot of families were disrupted, you know, people stopped their education, and it was a lot of sacrifice. I think June 12 for Nigeria should be seen really as a special date. If there's any date that can parallel June 12, perhaps it will be the 1st of October or the 1st of January 1960. Or 1st of January 1914. But the uniqueness of June 12 is that it is a day in which Nigerians got together regardless of their religious and ethnic division, to speak in one voice. That is a collective decision. It is also a day of personal sacrifice, because that is due to the annulment of the June 12 process. It led to resistance, i.e. people got up to say, no, we're not agreeing to this, and that led to sacrifice. Like all concepts, you know, and historical fact, it is prone to misunderstanding and misabuse. I think now that June 12 has been recognized by the government, the next step, I think, is to really create an education around June 12 as the day of the formation of the new Nigeria. I think that is something we ought to look at, so that the sung and unsung heroes of that day can have their true immortalization.
What do you expect from this particular administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in giving more recognition to the family and to the country at large?
Well, I think to the new administration led by President Tinubu, it will be a bit like preaching to the choir, because he himself comes from the tradition of June 12. So one will assume that, you know, automatically he feels it, those around him know to 12, and they will act accordingly. You know, what we can help to do is to continue to be vigilant on democracy, regardless of who is in power.
Well, many thanks for having you, Professor Anthony Killer. Well, it's 5 years of recognition of June 12 as Democracy Day in Nigeria, and live here at his residence, talking about the Ikeja Residence. You can see the program is still ongoing, and anytime soon we'll be having the governor of Lagos State to grace this particular occasion. Well, let me leave you with some of the sight and sound of what is happening at the moment. Speeches upon speeches coming at this time at the Ikeja Residence of Moshood Kashimawo Olawale Abiola. Over to you, Veronica, in the studio.
Yes, Emmanuel will definitely keep tabs with you for more updates coming out of that event at the residence of the late MKO Abiola. We'll take a break. When we return,